Okay, before we begin anything, I'd like to first go over all of Varix's Heart in Hightown chapters, but I am missing chapter 3, so I'm just going to look up the codex of that so we can still have the entire story of it while we're at it. Okay, now let's freaking figure out. Yeah, here it is. So that's chapter 1. Let me pull up chapter 3 when it's needed. Okay, Heart in Hightown chapter 1 by Varric Tefris. They say coin never sleeps, but anyone who's walked the patrol of Hightown Market at midnight might disagree. The pickpockets and confidence men head to the taverns at dusk. The dwarven businessmen and nobles go back to their tiny palaces to fret over the ways they got cheated, and the market falls silent. Don and Brenokovic knew every angle of the market with his eyes closed. 20 years of patrol had etched it into him, so that he walked that beat even in his dreams. The recruit Javelin was another story. The ring of steel striking stone told Donan that the kid had stumbled into a column again. His new armor would be full of dents by sunrise. Torches would make this easier. The sound of Javelin hauling himself off the pavement was like a tinker's car crashing. Torches make you night blind. You'll adjust. Donan crossed the square to help the kid to his feet. A breeze scurried across the plaza, sending the banners and pennants shivering and carrying an old familiar scent. Donan stopped in his tracks. Something's wrong. His voice was low, warning. He peered into the dark, up at the mezzanine. Just above them. Follow me. Be ready for trouble. The two guards climbed the dark stairs, and there, in a puddle of shadow, found the body. Gold-trimmed satin glittered through the blood. Get the captain, Donan sighed. We've got a dead magistrate. Magistrate Dunwald's butler had the air of a man who had never risen before dawn in his life. He started down his nose at Don and Brenokovic and his partner Javelin, as if he were on some lofty balcony above them instead of standing in a parlor in his dressing gown. The magistrate is indisposed. This can wait until a reasonable hour. He gestured for the guards to seat themselves out. The magistrate is dead, Donan corrected. Wake the household. As the butler left, Javelin shifted uneasily in his new armor. Shouldn't the captain be here? You want to go back to the barracks? Be my guest, Donan said with a shrug, only half listening as he studied the collection displayed in the room. A dozen ancient swords lay nestled in display cases, protected from dust and prying fingers. He moved to lift the lid on the nearest one. Javelin started to protest, but then the door opened. She had eyes the colors of topaz and dark hair that fell across her brow like sword strokes. She strolled into the parlor with such dignified elegance that Donan then realized for several minutes that she was clad in a housecoat and not a ball gown. You have news about my husband? What Seamus done this time? Forget to pay his bill at the Rose. She seated herself and indicated the guards to do the same. Donan nodded at the recruit to speak up. Javelin started. No, Lady Dunwald. Actually, she interrupted him with a wave. Marielle, please. Lady Marielle, your husband has been murdered. Donan took over for the flustered recruit. When did you see him last? Marielle stared at him, her jewel-colored eyes wide, and her voice cracked on. Murdered? Seamus? But a heartbeat may be too past, and she again became the perfect picture of noble grace. I saw him at dinner, she answered in a tone anyone might use to comment on the weather. He left before dusk. He said he was going to play Wicked Grace with the Comte de Favre. Do you know anyone who might have wanted him dead? Javelin asked softly. People want magistrates dead on principle. She gave a wry smile, but her voice grew pained. Criminals, political rivals, even people in his district who disagree with him. She drifted off, lost in thought, and then turned to Donnan, eyes blazing. A week ago, a letter game. Fake threats. I thought it was nothing, but it upsets Seamus. Who sent it? Donnan asked. It wasn't signed, but the seal was 6 crossed swords. For the second time in what was becoming a very long night, Denan Brenokovic and his partner Javelin found themselves knocking on the nobleman's door. It was still hours before dawn, the sky turning grey around the edges. The steel of Donnan's gauntlets clanged against the door. Once, twice, no answer. He sighed, looking up at the dark windows of the mansion. He was getting too old for this shit. Maybe he's out, Javelin offered. The recruit was nervous, and the guard a weak and barely able to walk through Hightown, too green for a murder case. He's hiding. Look up, Donnan pointed. He shuttered all the windows. There hasn't been a storm in months. He pounded on the door again, louder. We should get the captain, Javelin shifted and squirmed under his heavy shoulder blades. Donnan had forgotten how badly new guard armor fit. He started to tell the kid where to get it adjusted, and the door swung open. Come inside, quickly. A man rushed them inside and through the house. Every room was dark. No moonlight made it through the shuttered windows. No candles flickered. Their way was lit only by a hooded lantern in the hands of their host. He stopped once they had reached a windowless inside room, where he closed and bolted the door behind him. Comme de favre? Donnan guessed. The man nodded. In the dim lantern light, Donnan could see that he was dressed in a gaudy brocade doublet, but had thrown a chainmail shirt over it. He wore the helmet from an obviously ceremonial armor set, slightly askew on his head. I know why you are here, the Comte whispered. Dunwald. Donnan's voice was flat. Did you kill him, your lordship? This is bigger than murder, the Comte hissed, eyes flicking to the door. Dunwald drew the attention of great powers. When dragons do battle, guardsmen, mortal men can only take cover. Drop the gaze. Don't draw their gaze. Donnan Brenokovic didn't stand on ceremony. He strode through the barracks and slammed open the door to the captain's office without so much as a nod to the guards he passed. Just barely dawn, and already Captain Hendalen was buried behind a mountain of paperwork taller than the Vinmarks. All Donnan could see of the captain was his fiery hair and an angry gaze that had stopped more than one pickpocket mid-grift. Captain, I need a warrant for the Comte de Favre. Even as the words left his lips, Donnan knew they were a mistake. The captain rose to her feet. Brenokovic. The way she spoke his name was like Portcullis clanging shut. Where's my report on Hightown Market body? It was the kind of question you might ask a truant child. The kind where you already knew the answer and just wanted to see how someone squirm in guilt. I'll file it after. You'll file it now, guardsman. She stopped out from behind the desk. We follow procedure in my barracks. A magistrate was murdered on my watch, Captain. Donnan's voice was heated. He could never keep his temper in her presence. I'm not letting the killer get away. You left the scene without a thorough search of the market, Hendalen began pacing. Her voice like cold steel. You harassed a magistrate's widow, and you practically broke down a Comte's door. She turned to glare at him. All before dawn. If you want a warrant, you damn well better have hard evidence to justify it. I know that the Favre isn't telling us everything, Donnan insisted. Let me bring him in and... Forget it, she crossed back to her chair. You've got nothing. You're not arresting a man on a feeling, Brenokovic. Captain, he protested. From behind the paperwork, the captain waved for him to be silent. You are 2 weeks from retirement, guardsman. You want to stay in the ranks long enough to get pensioned? You follow procedure. Find me evidence and quit wasting my time. Dismissed. Devlin was waiting outside the captain's office when Donan Brnakovic slunk out, defeated. "We are not getting a warrant, are we?" Devlin looked almost relieved. "No," Donan met his partner's eyes. The kid was barely 20 and looked like he'd walked straight to the Kirkwall barracks from somebody's potato farm. Taller and broader than the other guards, Devlin slouched as if he didn't know how to fit in his own limbs, as if he thought he should be smaller. Hunched over in his brand new, too large armor, he looked like a child playing at being a guard. He was too green for a murder investigation. "Maybe it's for the best," Devlin said, almost speaking Donan's thought out loud. "You're on your way out of the guards, and I'm—" He trailed off, then sighed. Questioning nobles in the middle of the night wasn't covered in training. Donan glared at the kid. "I'm a city guard, and so are you, recruit. Nobody gets away with murder while we are on duty." Devlin stood a little straighter. "What do we do then?" "The captain wants proof," Donan smiled. "We bring her proof." The estates of Hightown fall into three types: the dwarven palaces in their enclave, huddled around their counterfeit paragon statues for shelter against the onslaught of human ideas that surround them; the foreign quarter, where the wealthiest Orlesian and Antivan merchants stay during their twice-yearly visit to criticize the ship captains and shop clerks and accountants in their employ; and the noble mansions where family who can trace their lineage back to Orlesian conquerors and to Finter landlords perch to look down on the rabble of ordinary folk scurrying at their feet. But whoever they belong to, all of Hightown estates have two things in common: a showy front entrance used when occupants want to be seen, and a hidden back way when they don't. The servant's door to the Comte de Favre mansion was in an alley hidden by overgrown topiaries. Donan Brnakovic picked the lock while his partner Devlin kept an uneasy lookout. They had left their armor at the barracks, but even in civilian clothes, the recruit managed to look like he was wearing an older brother's hand-me-downs. "I don't think this is what the captain meant when she said to get evidence," he muttered. The lock clicked and Donan gently pushed it open. Only a few slivers of light slipped through the shuttered windows. Silence hung in the air like a cheap tapestry. Donan and Devlin crept through the dark rooms, alert for any signs of servants, but nothing broke the eerie quiet except for their footsteps. In fact, there was no sign that anyone had been in the house at all until they found a room whose door had been torn from its hinges. Inside, the Comte lay in a pool of blood, one hand clutching a loaded crossbow, a dagger hilt protruding from his back. Donan Brnakovic searched the Comte de Favre's office. The Comte lay dead, murdered while armed and barricaded inside his own home. The servants' rooms were all empty, and from the pulled-out drawers and abandoned trunks, they had been sent away in a hurry. The Comte had clearly expected the trouble, and trouble had come to call. The Comte kept all his letters, decades of correspondence sorted by apparently kingdom of origin filled his writing desk. Donan rummaged through them, looking for darker ink, fresher pages, anything that might indicate that it was recent. And then came the shattering sound of someone kicking in the front door. "Hey, Milord Fancy Pants, get your ass down here." Devlin and Donan ran for the foyer. A woman stood over the splintered doors, her eyes glittering brighter than the daggers in her hand. "You there," she snapped at the guardsman. "Where's the Comte de Fulofit? We need to have some words. One of them will be coin, another will be now." "Kirkwall guards," Donan barked back at her. "This is a crime scene. Identify yourself." "Guards, are you?" she smirked, squinting up into the dark towards him. "No suits of armor outside. Men poking around a noble's home in the dark. This does look like a crime scene." Donan didn't flinch. "Your name?" "Belladonna. Captain Belladonna of the Dragon's Jewels." She executed a florid bow that somehow managed to be insulting. "Where's the damned Comte?" "He's dead," Donan said, watching her reaction. "You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?" She cracked a royal smile. "Trust me, sweet thing. If I were going to kill him, I would have waited until he paid me first. What was your business with the comm? Jefflin spoke up, startling Donnan. He'd almost forgotten his partner was there. Cargo transport, she glowered at the recruit. He hired me to deliver some antiques, and I've been sitting at anchor for a fortnight without being paid. She peered up into the dark balconies overhanging the foyer and shouted, "Anybody here? You want this rubbish? Come to the docks tonight and pay me 50 sovereigns for it. Otherwise, I'm dumping it into the sea." With that, she turned on her heel and strode away. Donnan Branakovic left his partner Jevling at the barracks. The recruit was even more jittery after their run-in with Captain Belladonna. And although Donnan himself was starting to feel his limbs weighed down and aching after such a long shift, he finally had the scent of something in this case. He wouldn't let it get away. The city of Kirkwall has a legacy of collectors. It was built in ancient times by the Vinter who collected suffering as if it were rare coins, and they passed on their obsession to future generation. On any street from Darktown to the Viscount's Keep, you can find someone who will always buy tapestries, or who has every known spoon made in Navarra, or someone who hoards odd bits of scraps of historical knowledge like it's their grandmother's crockery. Which was how he found himself knocking on a brightly painted door in the alienage. "Oh, guardsman, what a nice surprise! Nobody's been mocked, have they?" The elf beamed up at him. She had green eyes so wide they barely fit her face, and she seemed to be made of nothing but elbows and knees. "No muggings today, Macy." Donnan had to duck his head slightly to get through the door. "I have something you might be interested in." He handed her the letter the magistrate's wife had given him the night before. "Well, this doesn't look very interesting at all," Macy frowned, disappointed. What you have claimed belongs to greater powers. You will answer to us." "That's a lot of rubbish." "Not that. Look at the back." She flipped the letter over and cooed as if she'd found a lost puppy. "Oh, just look at you. You are just perfect." "Macy," Donnan spoke in a loud, firm voice, trying to remind her he was still in the room. "Whose seal is that?" "Oh, it's the executor's, of course." Macy peered excitedly at the wax seal, holding her up to the window for better light. "I should have guessed it from the silly great powers nonsense. There's only been one example on the letter claiming responsibility for the assassination of Queen Madrigal in 599, and this one is so much better. Just look at the imprint." "Any idea how I'd contact these executioners?" Donnan asked. "Oh, they're not real, of course. Everyone knows that." Donnan Branakovic was running out of leads to chase. He had only 2 weeks left until retirement. Just 2 weeks to find the man who had murdered a magistrate and a Hightown nobleman, if Captain Hendalen didn't kick him from the ranks first. The docks stank of piss and rotting fish, as foul as the men and women who worked there. But that was where Donnan had to go find the raider Captain's Belladonna, who had broken into the Comte de Favre's home. The Dragon Jewels was a big boat. She liked big boats. The pointy bits towered majestically over the water. The roundish wooden part seemed like it could crush armadas beneath its shit. I don't know, wood? It was the greatest boat in the history of boats. But even from the docks, Donnan knew something was wrong. He ran up the gangplank to find a dead sailor on the deck and a blood trail leading down into the hold. Donnan drew his sword and followed. His eyes still hadn't adjusted to the dimness of the lower decks when he tripped over a second dead sailor, stabbed in the gut and left where he'd fallen. The body was still warm. The ship creaked with every swell of the waves. Donnan held his breath and crept deeper into the hold. He barely deflected the blade in time. Steel rang against steel. Donnan parried a second blow, still half blind in the low light. The third swing got past his guard and left a wicked slash in his forearm. Nobody attacks my crew. You flaming pile of dog shit, the attacker swore, and Donnan recognized her voice. Hold, Kirkwall City Guard, he shouted, barely bringing his blade up in time. You again? Donnan's eyes finally began to adjust and he could make out Captain Belladonna. She was clutching her ribs with her right hand, a dagger in her left, and was covered in enough blood that Donnan was sure it wasn't all hers. She glowered at him. Could have used a guard not 5 minutes ago. Useless as ever, she grudgingly lowered her weapon. Donnan sheathed his sword. Who did this? Don't know. Didn't care to ask, she sniffed. Bastard killed 2 of my men before I cut off his hand and he bolted. She waved indifferently towards the rear of the hold. It's over there somewhere. Did he take the comms shipment? Donnan asked. No. If that's what this was about, you can have it. She limped over to a trunk and removed a bundle of cloth tied with twine. She threw it at Donnan's feet. Good riddance. Donnan Branakovic had been pursuing the killer of Magistrate Donwald without food or rest, and so far all he had was the seal of an imaginary group, a wounded arm, and a package that contained a rusted Tevinter sword. He was past exhaustion, and every breath made his head throb like he'd had too much to drink. He was getting too old for this shit. He couldn't go to the barracks with a knife wound he'd picked up off duty. If the captain caught him, and she would, he'd be thrown out of the guards for sure. That left one option. The Chantry Clinic turned no one away, but it usually didn't have to. The presence of free circle healers was more than enough to frighten most decent folk into deciding to wait and see if they get better on their own. Aside from a few drunken beggars snoring in the beds, the clinic was quiet. The healer didn't ask his name and tended the wound with only a disapproving frown. In a few breaths, his arm was as good as ever. Pity magic wouldn't mend his coat sleeve. As he walked through the nave toward the exit, he heard a voice. Guardsman, I was just about to look for you. The deep black gown she wore only made her eyes more otherworldly. A scent like lilacs filled the air around her. She may have been dressed in mourning garb, but she was dressed to kill. Donnan bowed. Lady Marielle. We should talk. I may have a lead for you. The Café d'Or perched atop a hill in the Orlesian district of Hightown, with a view of the entire city so the wealthy patrons could keep an eye on the peasants toiling below. Lady Marielle studied the room across the rim of her cup. A few nobles sat at the delicate little table sipping tea from Ravane and whispering among themselves about the latest maneuvers in the grand game 1,000 leagues away. What's this lead you have for me? Donnan broke the silence, acutely aware that he stank of sweat and fish from the docks and was wearing a ripped blood-stained coat in the most high-class cafe in Kirkwall. We are being followed, guardsman. The lady's voice was low. From her tone, she might have been discussing the weather. The 2 gentlemen in the corner by the door. Donnan picked up his teacup and gestured with it, as if making a point while he turned slightly in his chair to look. The men were finely dressed but almost as out of place as he was. A large, sickly pale Ander with a face full of scars and a tattoo chastened with a stone dagger at his belt. A chastened and a doublet. The one from the history books, Donnan murmured. Lady Marielle favored him with a half smile. Last night a man came by the estate. He said he wanted to buy Seamus's collection. All of it. Donnan sat straight up. The swords? He said his name was Wagner. She sipped delicately at her tea. He gave me an address and Lowtown in case I changed my mind. Those 2 have been shadowing me ever since. They say you can buy anything in Lowtown's bazaar. It's mostly true. On the right day, you can find vendors hawking spices from Saharon, the legacies of unknown dwarven paragons, maps to hidden fortresses in the Donarchs, and the crown jewels of Antiva, and no bookstore in Thedas peddles more wild stories than Lowtown. Don and Brenokovic made a point of greeting each shopkeeper as he passed so that the continual chant of garments reached the ears of the two large men shadowing him since he'd left Lady Marielle in Hightown. The address she'd given him led to a warehouse in the Foundry district, a section of the city populated only by rusted metal spikes and vagrants. Donna knocked on the door. An immaculately dressed butler greeted him and gestured for him to enter. Guardsman Brenokovic, Messer Wagner has been expecting you. Donnan followed him through a labyrinth of warehouse offices to a black room richly appointed with silk carpets and tapestries depicting the execution of Andraste. Two heavy armchairs, upholstered in velvet, occupied the center of the room. In one sat a smug red-haired man dressed entirely in blinding white samite. The other chair was empty. "Guardsman, please sit," the gentleman spoke with a heavily Starkhaven accent. "I suppose you would be Messer Wagner?" Donnan asked. "I am. A procurer of antiques," Sarah Brenokovic. As I'm sure the Lady Dumwold explained. Wagner carefully lit a pipe made of carved bloodstone and inhaled. "But we are both men of business, guardsmen. You are soon to retire, are you not? Allow me to present you with an opportunity." Donnan turned a critical eye on the tapestry of Andraste's spire. "I'm listening." Wagner watched him through a growing veil of smoke. "Do you know what Seamus Dunwald had in his possession, guardsman? What made the poor man worth killing?" "Do tell." "The swords of a Sarian." Wagner leaned forward, studying him closely. "The very blade that pierced Andraste's heart." Donnan gave him a flat stare. "If I believed that were even possible, I'd think that blade would be worth a lot of coin. Most would look at it and see a rusted piece of scrap. It is no longer the jeweled blade of an Archon. But to the right buyer, guardsman, the sword is worth an empire's ransom. I know such buyers." Wagner smiled. "It is here, in Kirkwall, and if you help me find it, I can make you a very rich man." In the Lowtown Bazaar, Donnan paused to pay a little elven girl to play courier for him before making the long climb back uphill to Hightown. A careful glance told him the scar-faced Ander and the tattooed Jason were still tailing him. Donnan was certain they'd love the Viscount's keep. He passed beneath the stone gaze of the cormorant statues flanking the gates and nodded to the guards on his way to the barracks. No one noticed his ragged, bloody clothing, which disappointed him as much as he benefited from it. Recruits these days always slacking off. Donnan bypassed the captain's office, and went looking for Javelin. By now the kid ought to be rested up, and Donnan suspected he would need backup in his large, suspicious shadows decided to pick a fight. But Javelin's bunk was empty. Donnan noted a blood splatter on the bedding and scent like lilacs. All of his gear was missing. In the center of the bunk was a note. "Bring the blade to the quays tonight at midnight or the boy dies." It was signed with a wax seal. 6 crossed swords. The late Magistrate Dunwald's butler blinked as Donnan Brenokovic barged into the foyer. "Get Lady Marielle, now." He headed straight to the parlor, where the magistrate's collection was displayed. Wrapped in a black shawl, Marielle sauntered into the room and leaned against one of the glass cases. "Guardsman, what a pleasant surprise. Where's Javelin?" Her smile faltered. Why do you think I would know? He's your partner." Donnan held up the note. "Your perfume, Lady Marielle." He dropped it on the display case beside her. "What were you doing in the guards' barracks?" "I didn't leave the note," she said with measured calm. "And I don't have your partner." "But you were in the barracks." He stepped away to examine the display. "You told me Wagner wanted to buy the magistrate's entire collection, but he said he was only interested in one blade." He opened the case, "and I think it was never in Seamus's collection. I think it was the sword meant to go right here." He pointed to the empty velvet-lined box. I looked in the Viscount's records, and you've only been married to Magistrate Dunwald for about 3 weeks. You tell me you tell me who you are working for and where my partner is, and I'll see if we can get you a deal with the Viscount's office. The Chantry. Marielle closed the door quietly. They sent me to Kirkwall a few months ago when rumors of the sort began to surface. She examined the note. I don't have Javelin. This was already on his bunk when I went to find both of you. Donnan didn't hide his skepticism. You are innocent, but you didn't report him missing to any of the guards? Someone took him from the barracks, Sarah, with no one the wiser. That doesn't seem strange to you? She looked him in the eye. Have you ever heard of the executors? They are a myth. A myth that kills, she sighed. The executors have your partner, and I think they have someone inside the city guards. How else could they have gotten Javelin out of the keep without being seen? Donnan watched her fidget her shawl. Why were you in the barracks? I suspected the executioners had an inside man. She shrugged. How else could they have gotten poor Comte de Favre to open the door to his killer, since he arranged the sword's purchase for Seamus? He'd been hiding in his own home. The only people he'd seen were Seamus and you. The nobles of Hightown like to imagine that petty crime can only happen in the dank shadows of Darktown, or maybe the crooked alleyways of Lowtown, between the alienage and the poorest neighborhoods. Their lofty ivy-walled avenues could never be the site of something as crude as a mugging or a simple assault. Donnan didn't have much trouble finding an out-of-the-way alcove near the Chantry to wait for the scarred Ander and the tattooed Chasen to catch up with him. The Ander came at him first, dropping down from the balcony above his head. While Donnan tried to back out of his reach, the Chasen loomed behind him, clamping an enormous vice-like hand on his shoulder. The Ander follow-up punch just below his ribs knocked the air out of his lungs. As the Chasen lifted him up by his coat, Donnan got back enough of his breath to say, You work for Wagner? I need to give him a message. This earned him a skeptical look from the Ander, but the Chasen set his feet back on the ground. Tell him I have his sword. He can meet me in the quays at midnight to settle off on the price. For a long, nervous moment, Donnan watched a variety of expression pass over the Ander-scarred grayish face before the man nodded. Another long moment, and both Ander and Chasen walked away, leaving him alone in the alcove. With the sun just setting, there was only one place left that Donnan needed to go. The tavern in the center of Lowtown sat in its own tiny moat of spilled ale, vomit, and the seawater the owner flung at the walls in a half-hearted attempt to scour the seagull crab from the building. Donnan, like nearly every guardsman who drank at the Hangman, walked through the door to a frantic chorus of "Put it away! Hurry!" He tried not to smile and completely succeeded when the brooding, white-haired elven bartender greeted him with a murderous glower. Guardsman? Donnan placed a handful of copper coins on the bar. Keep the ale coming, Ferris. I've got some time to kill. Donnan left the tavern and headed out through a moonless night. Fog clung to the streets and buildings like cobwebs, and the heavy air threatened rain. Any other night, he would have gone straight up to the barracks, but he had appointments to keep. The quays at midnight exchanged the cacophony of swearing sailors for the mournful sound of distant bells in the harbors. Donnan found Wagner and his two thugs waiting just out of sight of the harbor master's office in the fog. Wagner's white samite coat made him gleam like a smug moon. Messer Brenakovic, I trust you've brought my merchandise, Wagner smiled beside him. The tattooed Chasen cleaned what might have been blood from his nails with his dagger. Donnan reached into his coat and pulled out a small cloth-wrapped bundle. We should discuss a few things first. Wagner's eyes gleamed in the reflected light of his paunch. The price, of course, he gestured to the scarred Ender, who held up a bag of coins. 100 crowns should suffice, yes? That depends. Donnan toyed with the twine, securing the bundle's wrapping. You killed Magistrate Dunwald, didn't you? After my run-in with your friends here, I realized the only blade that could have made that kind of stab wound was your chastened stone knife. Wagner shrugged. Men die all the time, Sirrah. We should not let that unpleasantness get in the way of business. Another gesture, and the Ender strode forward to stand just inches away from Donnan, brandishing the bag of gold like a flail. And Javelin? Donnan asked. I know nothing of your partner's fate. And Donnan handed over the bundle, and the Ender dropped the bag at his feet to deliver the prize to his boss. Wagner eagerly unwrapped the bundle, revealing an ancient, rusty, and pitted short sword. He frowned. This is not the blade. Both Chastened and Ender drew their daggers. Donnan held his ground. Pity you killed Dunwald for it, then. You think I'd kill a magistrate and not a guardsman? Wagner laughed. Unwise, Sirrah. That's all we needed to hear. Captain Hendalen stepped around the corner behind Donnan. A dozen guards with her. For the first time in months, he saw what might have been a smile on her face. Good work, guardsman. We'll take it from here. Donnan left it to his captain and a dozen of Kirkwell's finest to drag Wagner and his thugs to the stocks. The heavy air gave up and turned into sheets of rain. The ancient grey stone stairs leading up to Lowtown turned into a waterfall. Donnan slogged up the narrow passage, boots squelching with every step. He almost didn't hear the ambush coming. As he reached the top of the stairs, a faint rasp of steel made him throw himself aside into a vegetable cellar table. A sword swung through the air where he had been and chimed against the rock wall. Donnan fumbled at his scabbard and just managed to catch the second blow with his sword. He had one moment as they locked blades to recognize his attacker. The younger man had shed his guard's uniform for dark leathers, and his left arm now ended in a bandaged stump. But there was no mistaking him. Javelin? Where's the blade of Astarion? Javelin recovered from the parried blow to slash at Donnan's legs. He dodged back, slipping and nearly stumbling ass first down the stairs. It was you, the inside man. You're the one who killed the Fafre. Donnan lunged at the recruit. Javelin quickly moved to block, but Donnan's blade sliced his arm, drawing blood. Give me the sword. I know that pirate hag gave it to you. Javelin swung a series of hard slashes, trying to break Donnan's guard or knock him down the stairs. In the darkness and the driving rain, the guardsman struggled to see his attacker. Still, Donnan grinned. You left it at the quay. I guess you ran off without it when the lady took your hand off. Not my fault you picked a fight you couldn't win. He tried to edge away from the stairs, but the rookie kept him pinned between the vegetable stall and a fall to his death. Javelin lunged, his blade punching through Donnan's armor just below his ribs, but the recruit slipped on wet stone during his attack and stumbled into his enemy. Donnan shoved him away, and over the stairs his fall ended with a sickening crack of broken bones. Donnan drew a ragged breath and pulled Javelin's sword from his side, trying not to slip in his own blood. The chantry was a long way off. The rain stopped with a suddenness that suggested some enterprising footpad from the coterie had climbed up to shank the clouds. The fog drifted off the Haunt, a better part of the wounded coast. As Donnan reached the chantry courtyard, the clouds parted to let a sliver of moonlight shine on the rain-swept flagstones. He stopped to catch his breath and tighten the torn-off coat sleeve he'd used as a bandage. The bleeding was slowing, which meant either the wound in his side wasn't that deep, or he was running out of blood to lose. Trying not to dwell on the latter, he pushed open the chantry doors. At this maker-forsaken hour, the chantry was lit only by the eternal flame of Andraste's feet. A single soul occupied the space, lighting a candle for the dead. She rose as Donan staggered into the firelight. "Guardsman!" Lady Marielle rushed to help him into one of the pews. "Might want to wake up one of the healers," he managed a pained smile. "I wasn't sure you'd be here." "Neither was I. Your message was a little fake." Marielle tried to examine his makeshift bandage, but Donan waved her away. He pointed toward the golden statue of Andraste. "I had a friend deliver something for you under the altar." Marielle cast him a skeptical look, but she climbed the dais and returned with a small oilcloth bundle. She picked apart the wrapping knot and peered down at the rusty blade inside, specks of dry blood still clinging to the pitted guard. "The sword of Assyrian," she breathed, almost a prayer. "You can get it to the divine?" Donan asked. She wiped her eyes. "I'll take it to her myself. What do you want in return?" Donan struggled to his feet. "Just put in a good word for me with the Maker, your ladyship. You never know when I might need it." And he walked away, leaving her standing in the firelight with history in her hands. Donan wiped spilled ale off the bar, listening to the cries of the birds and crashing of waves outside. Another slow day on the Amaranthine coast. The tavern didn't get many visitors, just a little too far south of the Antivan border to catch the caravans, but he hadn't opened it to make a profit. He poured some noxious Ander stout from an oak cask into a heavy tankard and carried it outside to a dark-haired nobleman on the patio, idly strumming a lute so out of tune it sounded like some other instruments, perhaps a tuba or a kettle drum, trying to invent music from scratch. Donan handed over the tankard, only half hoping it would stop him from playing any more. "That's very kind of you, guardsman." Thankfully, the gentleman set aside his lute and took the tankard, putting his feet up on the table in front of him. "It's just Donan these days," he replied, looking out over the waves. "My time in Kirkwell's guard is over." "It's never really gone," the nobleman smiled. "Kirkwell, it finds its way around into your soul, and once it gets there, you carried it always." The sun was setting behind them, casting long shadows from the tavern down to the water. A flock of cormorants took advantage of the fading lights to dive for fish, making their way back out to sea. "Maybe so," Donan smiled too, "but the world can always use a champion or a guardsman wherever they happen to go." The gentleman raised his tankard. "I'll drink to that." And the two men watched the last of the light disappear in peace. There we go. That was a very nice book that Varric wrote. It was really good. I would pay actually for it in real life to have it. Okay. It is time for us now then to continue forward and figure out what the fuck the Qunari are doing. But before we do that, we have to choose our companions. Okay, let's see. I want to have Ironbow because Qunari. I want to have Cole because he always has some interesting insight. And I'll have Dorian as well with it. Oh look, it's
pulling you apart.
I'm glad to have known you.
No matter what happens, it has been my honor to fight beside each of you.
We helped, all of us. I won't forget.
Enjoy me while you can. I expect you'll all miss me terribly later.
It's been an honor to kick asses beside you all. Anan.
Anan. It looks like the Alluvion in the middle opened up, but we're not done yet. We can't go there just yet because we got a new power with the thing. Which means hopefully we can go into like the secret places, I imagine. That isn't this one and the one in the deep roads. If I'm not mistaken. We can just make our way through this one. So we don't have to go all the way around it again. Yeah, we're back in the armory. Look, our hand is constantly glowing as well. Have to get up here. Okay, let's... There we go. Ooh. Look at my eyes, they were also fucking glowing. Like my hand. Ooh, god. Here we are. Ooh. Ooh, nice. There we go. Ooh, I wonder what the statue is about. Can I open this up then? And return here. And go back here.
It's completely submerged.
Ooh. There it is.
We should see where that leads.
There we go. Is there anything around here? Doesn't look like it. Ooh. Ooh, it's like the owl. Oh god, there's multiple ways to go. Ooh. Where the Dreadwolf gaze blazes, paths are brought to light. So... Well, they look that way, right?
Didn't work.
Look at this mural.
Oh.
Hold on. I see something hidden in it.
Ah, here it is. Veilfire runes in the deep roads. In the light of the veilfire, the runes seem to shift, coiling and uncoiling like snakes. A thunderous voice shatters the stillness, shouting, "Hail Mithal, Adjudicator and Savior. She has struck down the pillars of the earth and rendered their demands unto the people. Praise her name forever." For a moment the scent of blood fills the air, and there is a vivid image of green vines growing and enveloping a sphere of fire. The vision grows dark, an eon seems to pass. Then the runes crackle as if filled with an angry energy. A new vision appears. Elves collapsing caverns, sealing the deep roads with stone and magic. Terror heart pounding, ice cold. As the last of the spells is cast, a voice whispers, "What the Evanurs in their greed could unleash would end us all. Let this place be forgotten. Let no one wake its anger. The people must rise before the false gods destroy them all."
The runes say the Evanurs fought the Titans.
Ooh.
They mined their bodies for lyrium and something else. It's not clear.
I can't light that. It's too high for me. Ah, there we go. Nice. We got a heart of pride. So they were fighting the Evanuris? Oh, the Evanuris were fighting the, what you call it? The Titans. Are they the Forgotten Ones then? I think that's it. Yeah, by the looks of it. That's interesting. That's it for this area at least, I believe. And so the Evanuris were fighting the Forgotten Ones to the point where they like were mining their fucking blood. As you can see here, there's a Titan around here. What the fuck? Holy shit. I'm not sure. There was an alluvion there, but I'm not sure how to get up to that one. Okay, let's make. Oh, I went the wrong way. Let's make our way towards the alluvion in the middle then.
The Darverat. All right, everyone, get ready.
Ooh, here we go. Ooh.
So this is the Darverat.
Look at this. It's an alluvian graveyard.
Where did the Qunari get all these? How long have they been studying alluvians?
Yeah.
The sooner we stop this invasion plan, the better.
Here they are. Okay, let's see. Can I put this down? Let me get out a little bit. Energy rush. Can put that down. Chain lightning. Stone fist. Oh, there is a Sarabas there. Oh. There we go. Chain lightning and energy rush. There we go, let's put that on him. If I can. There we go. Oh god, Dorian is not doing good. Oh shit, he's already down basically, so to say. Ooh, okay, I need to be careful for that then. Ooh. Yep, there we go. But it's almost down. There we go. There we go, something to read. Alluvian studies. The writing on these pages is completely incomprehensible, even to a native speaker of Conlad. The handwriting resembles the scratches of an inebriated chicken, but the drawings are meticulous. An excruciatingly careful study of several alluvions, along with exploded diagrams of their inner workings. Ooh. I feel fire here, we can take that then. Just in case. Are we in Qunari territory now then? Somewhere around Parvalen? Ooh.
Oh, we should hurry. Here they come.
God. Here they are. Can do stone fist on them. There we go, can put that on us. chain lightning.
I wish I could say I'm surprised that Vitasala wants to murder everyone, but it makes sense. We tell stories about how corrupt the South is. Who wouldn't want to kill the evil nobles and save the people?
Ooh. Let's see, nothing here. What about here? Also nothing. Ooh. It's an assassin. Okay, let's put this on it then. Ooh. Are they there?
Watch the patrol. You want to take them out one at a time, fast, or we'll have a mess on our hands.
There she is. Stone fist. There we go. Take the balefire. Okay, let's see. There's one there. Oh, and there's 3 there. Okay. See, is anything around here? No. God. Ooh. Okay, let's be careful then. Put this on them. Okay, let's go in here. No, we can't. It's locked. Oh god. We can't get up either, can we? No. Okay, we'll have to be careful about this then. Let's put them together like so. Oh god, we're also putting fighting all the other guys that were there. Put this together like so. Stone fist. I think that's it, yeah. Okay, let me get the Balefire again. Ooh. Nice, okay. Oh, it's locked. I see.
That's quite the door.
Let's check out this tower thing first then. Ooh. Hello. There we go. See. Ooh, gatehouse key. Okay. Saraf. This letter was clearly written a few lines at a time over the course of multiple days, as the ink at the start has already faded slightly. Elf who is Talis. It is no longer my role to instruct others in the Qun, but I will share what I can with you if it brings you peace. You are not alone in your struggles to achieve mastery of yourself and your purpose. Many Fidafari come to the Qun filled with fear and anger. These feelings build walls, brick by brick within the self. They prevent you from seeing the others around you, from seeing the world as it is. And they convince you that you are alone and in darkness. That you must fend for yourself. The walls are real, but the darkness and solitude, the world that they create within the self, that is all an illusion. You must work to tear down the walls if you wish to see the truth. And the truth is this: no one is alone. It was the wisdom revealed to Coslan in the desert long ago. What looks like solitude is connectedness. What looks like darkness is only the space between stars. The portion of the letter is slightly newer, and the handwriting, which was exceptionally tidy at first, has become somewhat looser, as if written in a hurry. And it is not just Fidafari who struggle with these illusions. The world changes the self, we must balance mastery upon its turning tides. Once I was an Ashkari, and I spent my days examining the philosophy of the Qun and trying to seek the enlightenment that Coslan found. But my dreams of demons took me down a new path. Here the writing is filled with crossed out passages, and the script becomes shaky. Some of the ink is still wet. And now, with the song liquid crossed out, and now I study the dam which holds back magic at its source. We will cross out. It is our purpose to cross out. Things change, little Talus. The world changes. Find purpose in people around you, and your role will be clear. Remember when crossed out. It will be hard to find wisdom in the noise. The noise is an illusion, like the darkness, but the walls are real. Remember that. Tear down the wall first, and you will see the truth. Saraf.
Red Lyrian. Do the Qunari have any idea what they're dealing with?
The song is different, but the pieces fit together.
What?
Is that an Astrarium? How did the Qunari move it here?
And one of those weird keys you can only find with a tranquil skull.
Yeah, what the fuck? Okay, we can light something there. Ah, and we're down here then, okay. We can heal everyone up a bit. There you go. And go further up then. Can light them. Ooh. Scrap of writing from a Ben Hasraf agent. Excavated mural believed to be self-portrait by Fen'Harel. Ah, so he made this himself? Golden Nog. Oh yeah, it's not on. Ancient writing. One sees the hunter, but one flees from it. One hunts it in turn. One outwits them all. Oh, that's okay. One sees the hunter, one flees from it, and one hunts it in turn. And one outwits them all. Okay. So that's the hair. That one is probably hunted by the hunter, I would imagine. So one sees it, one flees from it. Oh yeah, that's the one that probably flees from it. But who is the one who would see it, and who is the one who would flee from it? No, hunt it. Let's see, there was more here. Okay, you would see it. Then the wolf would probably hunt it. Maybe this is like a statue of like some of the cod. You see it. And then it's like this, maybe? Ooh. I think I got it. Here we go. Got a bloody bargain. Ooh, look at that. Okay, then we have this and a letter. Logs of a Darfarad gatekeeper. The entries in this book are written in several different hands and occasionally even different languages. From the few entries in the common tongue, it appears to be a log filled in by various guards who have watched the gates of the Darfarad. Morning. Artifacts brought in by Hisra Kif. Original location not on manifest. Ask Iskari was told they are from ruins. Please remind ancients that all relics must be properly catalogued, or the Tarbas will never stop complaining about it. Afternoon. 3 Kifs deployed, including Ishkari of Hisra Kif. Told her to wait. Down locations in her manifest this time. Evening. Hisra Kif reported back. Ishkari handed me manifest that just said outside Darfarad, asking my stand for a knife. Okay, let's see, how does this work? Okay, so that one turns both of those.
Yes, do the thing to the other thing. Oh, sorry, I'm not good with things that don't have feelings.
That one goes up like that. Okay, and what does this one do? Ah, okay. So they all need to... I see. Okay, but then that one is fucking up. Can't do it like that then. Okay. I need to move this one then. Let's see. There we go. Then we have this one. There we go. Let's see if we still need the veil fire. Ooh. Qunari. Can plop this on them. Why are they running away? Ah, for backup. There you go. Push down fist. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, there's more there. Oh, put this up. Chain lightning, and I need to rush it. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, let's see then. Ooh, I need a key for that one. Probably can get it from... Oh, this leads down. Yeah, I can probably get it then from one of corpses, perhaps. writing instructions for newer workers. While some of this letter is written in Kunlat, most is in the common tongue. The letter is blocky and simple but tidy. The dragon's breath must continue regardless of concerns at the Winter Palace. Many are new to the Qun and have not yet learned to trust. Your worry is understandable. The rest of the world has betrayed you. All who have been to the Darvarad know the difficulty of maintaining the specimen for extraction for as long as we have. If we delayed dragon's breath, we would have to dispose of the specimen. Creating Gatlock is normally a slow process requiring much mining and careful alchemy. Venom extraction offers the only means to deliver the dragon's breath quickly and in large quantities. To delay dragon's breath is to lose any chance of bringing peace to the south without needless suffering. The Qun demands we save the workers of the south from a bloody war and deliver them into our teaching before corruption further overtakes the land. Others have voiced concern over the specimen. The Qun does not demand cruelty to any living being, but all creatures have place and duty under the Qun. The specimen serves as it must. When dragon's breath is complete, it will be extinguished quickly and painlessly, as when we slaughter animals for food. Allow your superiors to deal with the agents of Fen'Harel, and remember your role and service to the Qun. God. Somewhere here. Oh, storage key, nice. And journal notes found in the barracks. There are several entries in this journal, some in Kunlat and some in Common, as if the writer was practicing their language skills. The last page reads, "Sent to palace again, moving things along. Boss Shems never notice who comes or goes. When the dragon's breath comes, they won't know what hit them." Let's see what is here. Ooh, big thing. Amulet of physical immunity. What the hell? That's physical immunity. Well, Iron Bull, you can have that one. Let's see then. I think that's everything for here then, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh. Hello. Put this down. Chain lightning. Put that down. Chain lightning. I think that's it. There we go. Oh, can craft weapons here. Oh.
Crap. Come on. We have to get you out of here.
Ooh. Ooh, we found a study. Look, there's one of those artifacts. Dragon Breath Plan. This document appears to be written entirely in Kunlat, but contains a number of complicated diagrams, including detailed blueprints of Halam Sharal and a number of other places and fortresses.
There's no pain, just lots of ideas. I'm not the right kind of spirit for this.
They're unlocking illuvions.
Morrigan said the key to an illuvian could be anything, including knowledge or power. So they're stockpiling both. That's how they got the keystone and opened so many of the illuvians we've seen.
Ooh.
Hopefully they don't have any more ancient magic crap to throw at us. That dragon skull would make a wicked armchair, though. Maybe we can take it back to Skyhold after this.
Letters and replies. A letter with an Inquisition seal sits half buried in a pile of memos. To the Honorable Salazari, Triumvirate of the Qun. On behalf of the Inquisition, I must humbly inquire as to as to the hostile actions of your agents in Halam Sharel. We can only view the attacks by Ben Hasraf agents upon our officers and the infiltration and sabotage of the Exalted Council at Halam Sharel as the prelude to a declaration of war. If the Qunari people do not wish to provoke retaliation from the Chantry, these hostilities must cease at once. Respectfully, Ambassador Josephine Montelier. Several incomprehensible messages in Kunlat follow. A letter in common with elegant script has been torn open and crumpled into a ball, but the writing is still legible. To Ambassador Josephine Montelier of the Inquisition. The triumvirate of the Qunari people wishes to ensure you that despite the loss of the dreadnought Bereflock and its crew of 100 souls in a failed joint mission with the Inquisition 2 years past, military actions has not been approved against the Inquisition. No one in Parvalen has authorized actions of any kind involving the Exalted Council, nor will they. We are seeking out the Ben Hasref priest who appears to be leading this operation without our consent. Once he is located, we assure you that these hostile actions will cease. Oh, so the rest of the Qun isn't even agreeing with what the Fidasala is doing here. By the sounds of it. Ooh, Cole, I need you. Okay, Iron Bull, you can take that. There you go. Let's see. Ooh. It's a literal fucking dragon.
Dragon's breath is an actual dragon?
Tethar! Bars!
Inquisition! Nira Tasia Sara! Niraba Sadim Kata! Hisrat, now! Please! Vinekatas!
Not a chance, ma'am.
Ooh. She was trying to convince Bull to work with her. God. Ooh. Ouchie. Put this down for me. Throw this. There you go, we got that one. I need to barrage it. Don't fist it again. Ooh, Cerebas. Where is the Cerebas? There he is. Oh my god. Let's put this on him. You're not going anywhere. Let's see. It's almost down. There we go.
You all right, Bull?
The Iron Bull is just fine. When this is over, drinks are on me.
No.
Hopefully a lot of them. All right, break time's over. Let's do this.
Oh, there's more here. And if you brush them. Oh, hello, hello. Can fuck right off. There you go. Ooh, oh, god, there's so many of them. I can do this actually. Oof. Oh god. There we go. Ah, we did it already. You can't take that. Ah, good. We have another supply car, which means everyone can heal up a bit. Oh wait, you don't have to. Oh, just do that. Animal Handler's Logbook. The first half of this logbook appears to be notes of the care and feeding of animals in the Free Marcher's Lord's manor. After that, it shifts into practical phrases in Kunlad. Later, it begins again with the following. Beast presents chafing around limbs and tail, likely from attempts to use change. While its natural strength remains, muscles are slack from confinement. Tadarfras said she initially tried drugging the beast, but the amount required to keep it sedated changed the quality of its venom, so that it was no longer useful in producing Gatlog. She says fire has kept it under control, while the heated panels keep it in a state of comfortable drowsiness. Tardafras is not as good as this deception as she thinks she is. She does not like what we are doing to the beast. She calls it Atashi, which means something like great thing. She repeats saying from the Qun to herself when she attracts the venom. I do not disagree with her. I saw enough harm done to innocent beasts at my lord's sneering commands. The beast, the Atashi, deserves better than the pry bars and needles we use upon it each time we draw its from its venom gland. Tardafras says I may be needed at the Winter Palace. It is likely that some few elves with suspicion, thanks to these attacks by the agents of Fen'Harel, but a human woman may still pass unnoticed among the servants. She says I may be asked to deliver more Gatlog in different containers. She says that it could be dangerous and that if I do not return, most will assume I am dead. As I said, Tardafras is not as good as deception as she thinks she is, but she is right. I did not join the Qun for this. Okay, let's let Cole heal up a bit. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so we can either kill the dragon or free it. Well, I would like to free it if I can. Let's see.
So, boss, we're gonna fight the dragon or what?
Well, I want to free it.
She doesn't want to be. They hurt her.
Ooh, so there's fire there. Do we have to like move it towards the gate or something?
We will not let you cut down the Hawke.
Okay, so let's move this one then. Okay. Oh, this moves everything, I see. Oh, I can't move it.
There's a bunch of crap stopping it from moving, boss.
Okay, let me jump over it. And then let me get this. There we go. Now we should be able to move it. Okay, can move everything like so.
Barriers are set. Now we just need to open the gate.
That's enough?
Akashi Itwa, Terasam.
No, is this how we open the gate? Let's see. No. Let me stand there so I don't take any more damage. There we go. Dorian is down.
Yes, we're helping her.
Okay, let's get the other one then.
That's it. There goes our dragon.
Ooh, we did it. Nice. Go be free. Ooh, here we go.
Bashara!
Ooh.
Dear Inquisitor, you have such little time left. You must finally see the truth. Elven magic already tore the sky apart. If the agents of Fen'Harel are not stopped, you will shatter the world as well.
Dragon's breath is no better.
Whatever you think I've done, mass assassination isn't a good moral high ground.
The South was poisoned by these elves' manipulations. It suffers just as you do now. You would have died from the mark on your hand, but for the help of one of their chief agents. The same agent who helped seal the breach, who led you to Skyhold, who gave Corypheus the orb, then founded the Inquisition. Soulless, agent of Fen'Harel.
Solus betrayed us?
Solus is an agent of Fen'Harel.
Did you not know? We thought you were his ally. Solus tricked us all. He pushed a dying Qunari into the Winter Palace to lure you into opposing us. Without him, we could have brought the South peace and wisdom along the gentle path. Now we must take the way of blades. Anahayden, Inquisitor. If it is any consolation, Solus will not outlive you.
Ooh. That dude is fucking ginormous. Ooh, we can still do this. I have to save him.
That's why Solus left. He's been helping us fight the Qunari all this time. We have to save him.
Come on, the Vidasala can't be too far ahead.
Ooh, let's see. Where are we?
Up there!
There, yeah.
It's going to
Ooh.
everyone back.
Anchor meltdown. The anchor now builds up power even faster. Using it is difficult, but discharges all accumulated focus. If the focus reaches full power, the anchor discharges uncontrollably, damaging you and your allies as well as nearby enemies. Oh god, I have to watch out for that now. Because my hand is going insane.
Perhaps Solus can help.
Solus doesn't want to hurt people. He isn't that kind of wolf. The Qunari don't see.
Kind of wolf. Interesting. Okay, let me get that. You can get that. There we go.
That must be where Solus is.
Where? Here? Oh, hello. Oh god, I need to use my power. I don't have a choice in it anymore. There we go. Let's see, is anything around? Doesn't look like it.
There.
Ooh.
He can't be far from her, or it hurts him.
Okay, let's put this down. Put that down. Oh god. I need to brush it. Sounds good. Let me use this. There we go. Put that on. There you go. Let's see. Is anything around here? She's still up there, by the looks of it. Any secrets? No? No. Okay. Ooh. Nothing's there. Oh, more. There we go. Ooh. Put that down. And then this. Turn lightning. There we go. Okay, let us go through here then. Okay, let's put this down. Energy barrage it. Chain lightning. Put that down. Perhaps cool. You can throw some bees here. Let's see, let's do that. There we go. Energy barrage it. Oh fuck, I didn't see. I didn't see. Sorry, Dorian. Fuck. There you go. There we go. Put this down. I need to rush it. There we go. Ooh, is there anything down there? Let's see. Ooh. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's make our way through this alluvion. Oh, great. Can heal up, and so can you. Oh, is there anything behind it? No, okay. Oh god. A shrine to the Dread Wolf. Oh god. There they are. Let me do this.
Coming to stop us.
Oh god, the music. Where are you dropping? There you are. Okay. Let's see. Can put this down. Oh god, he died in one go. Oh, this is Sarov, the dude that we were talking about, Tyler's. Where are you, cool? Maybe you can. No, I don't have that thing on you. Fuck. Revive him, please, if you could. Okay, put that down. Stone fist. I need to rush it. Ooh. Let me get away. Put you all together. Let's do this.
That's all you've got. I will do Sahara, you little shits.
Looks like you can't hurt him like so. Okay, let's do this. Can do the same thing, dumbass. Okay, I have to get close to him with this. There we go. Stone fist. Do that. Chain lightning. Stone fist. I need to brush it. Chain lightning. Put that down. No, it's moving. Oh god. Ooh, nice.
You will not leave here, Inquisitor.
We'll see about that. Energy barrage them. Put this down. And that. There we go. Let's go forward. Oh god. The Cerebus is even attacking them. I think, right? Be dead. Chain lightning. Need to brush it. There we go. Oh god. Anything around here? No. Okay, good. Put this down. Chain lightning. Take that. Chain lightning. Stone fist. There we go. Iron Bull. You can't fight, you know. There we go. There we go. Can also take this. Oh, let me focus on this one. Energy rush it. And that. Chain lightning. Energy rush it. Let me put this down there. No, I'm too far. Fuck. Okay, let me get a bit closer then. Chain lightning. Stone fist. Put that down. Chain lightning. Stone fist. Okay. Put this down. And do stone fist on them. There we go. I need to rush them. Put this down. Put this down. Okay, I need to go near them. You can also walk. There we go. There we go. Oh, let's get the rain up. There we go.
Hold on, Bull!
There we go. I'm guessing these Illuvions just bring you to different places in here.
One of the damned mirrors has to lead out of here.
Ooh. Where does this one lead to? Oh. Oh. Let's go through here real quick. Ah, okay. There you go. Let's go for the main one there. Ooh, there they are.
Alright. Maravas Kataraha!
You are dead, Inquisitor! Your soul is dust!
Okay, let me take this. And you take it as well. Ooh. Was this the... where we came from? Or... I'm not sure. Oh god. that. With that. I need to brush it. Ooh, what the hell happened? Ah. Stone fist. Chain lightning. Oh, fuck. To this. Chain lightning. I need to brush it. Chain lightning. He's opening a rift. Do this. Put that down. Brush it and stone fist. Let's get out of here. Iron Bull move. Oh fuck, I need to get close to him. There we go. Let me put this down. Okay, let me get away. Let's see. There we go. Stone fist. Put that down. Chain lightning. Put this down. Energy brushes. Here, let's do this. There we go. Ooh. Chain lightning, he's almost down. Oh god, a pride demon. Let's see. There he is. There we go. Almost down, almost down, almost down.
We can't touch this guy.
Ooh. Okay, okay, okay. Ooh. Did we do it? Oh god, we did it. Let's go through. Ooh. Did Solus do this? Put them to stone.
Ebesit kata, etwa ost.
Maraskata!
Your forces have failed. Leave now and tell the Qunari to trouble me no further.
Ooh. He did.
Solus.
Oh, what the fuck?
That should give us more time. I suspect you have questions.
You are the Dreadwolf.
The Qunari answered some of those questions. The information I found while traveling through the Alluvians answered more. You're Fen'Harel. You're the Dreadwolf.
Well done. I was Solus first. Fen'Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The Dread Wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. And now you know. What is the old Danish curse? May the Dread Wolf take you?
My people were wrong.
Our legends about you are wrong. I saw the truth as we traveled the crossroads.
You saw another story, written in desperation to give me more credit than I ever deserved.
If you had just told me.
Then you would carry the same burden I do.
I want to. Magellana Venan.
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen'Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
The Veil destroyed the world.
How did creating the Veil destroy the world?
You saw the remains of Via Dethara. The library was intrinsically tied to the Fade, and the Veil destroyed it.
Ooh.
There were countless other marvels, all dependent on the presence of the Fade, all destroyed. Your legends are half right. We were immortal. It was not the arrival of humans that caused us to begin aging. It was me. The Veil took everything from the elves, even themselves.
Why did you form the Veil?
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanurus would have destroyed the entire world.
How did they become gods?
The Evanurus were elven mages. How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, and finally gods. The Evanurus.
How did the gods go too far?
You said that the elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. A crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanurus.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
So the elven gods aren't truly dead.
You banished the false gods. You didn't kill them.
You met Mythal, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily. The Evanurus are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
So what happens next?
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evanurus down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the elven people, even if it means this world must die.
Why is that necessary?
Why does this world have to die for the elves to return?
A good question, but not one I will answer. You have always shown a thoughtfulness I respected. It would be too easy to tell you too much. I am not Corypheus. I take no joy in this. But the return of my people means the end of yours. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
Is it really my Inquisition?
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for agents of Fen'Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
You gave him your orb.
You gave your orb to Corypheus?
Not directly. My agents allowed the Venatori to locate it. The orb had built up magical energy while I lay unconscious for millennia. I was not powerful enough to open it. The plan was for Corypheus to unlock it, and for the resulting explosion to kill him. Then I would claim the orb. I did not foresee a Tevinter Magister having learned the secret of effective immortality.
What was meant to happen?
What would have happened if Corypheus had died, and you'd recovered the orb?
I would have entered the Fade using the mark you now bear. Then I would have torn down the veil. As this world burned in the raw chaos, I would have restored the world of my time. The world of the elves.
But then the evil gods will return.
If you destroyed the veil, wouldn't the false gods be freed?
I had plans.
Truly?
I never thought of you as someone who would do that, Solus.
Thank you. You must understand. I awoke in a world where the veil had blocked most people's conscious connection to the Fade. It was like walking through a world of tranquil.
We aren't even people to you.
Not at first. You showed me that I was wrong. Again. That does not make what must come next any easier.
I appreciate it.
Whatever your reasons, we couldn't have defeated Corypheus without you.
Your doubts are misplaced. Everything you accomplished, you earned.
What about the Alluvions?
You control the Alluvians now.
Yes. You remember Briala from Halam-Sharal? For a time, she controlled part of the labyrinth. One of my agents was supposed to take it from her, but he did not succeed. I had to override the magic personally. The Qunari stumbled upon this section independently. With them gone, the Alluvians are now mine.
Why should I be concerned?
What's wrong with the Inquisition?
You created a powerful organization, and now it suffers the inevitable fate of such. Betrayal and corruption.
It's not that simple.
Do you know how I discovered the Qunari plot? The plot I disrupted by leading them to your doorstep. The Qunari spies in the Inquisition tripped over my spies in the Inquisition. The Elven Guard who led you to the Qunari body? Who intercepted the servant with the Gatlock barrel? Mine.
Why did you help?
Why bother disrupting the Qunari plot if you're going to destroy the world regardless?
You have shown me that there is value in this world, Inquisitor. I take no joy in what I must do. Until that day comes, I would see those recovering from the breach free of the Qun.
Why?
Because I am not a monster. If they must die, I would rather they die in comfort. In any event, it is done.
Thanks.
I guess we owe you for that one too.
I hope it gives your people some final peace.
But what about the mark?
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
I know, Venan. And we are running out of time. The mark will eventually kill you. Drawing you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
Ooh. I won't give up on you.
Solus, Varlath Vir Suladin.
I wish it could, Venom. My love. I will never forget you.
Our hand. What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
But we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Qunari.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause this threat. We informed the Summit of the danger.
The danger posed by Qunari spies inside your organization.
Without our organization, you would not be allowed to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate
Ooh, my
organization,
armor's gone.
not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor.
Inquisition will serve divine Victoria efforts against Solus, will be stronger but risk corruption. The Inquisitor will serve divine Victoria efforts against Solus, will be stronger but risk corruption. The Inquisition will deserve divine Victoria efforts against Solus, will be stronger but risk corruption. The Inquisition will be disbanded. Efforts against Solus will be weaker but more secure. The Inquisition will be disbanded. Efforts against Solus will be weaker but more secure. Or this one. Ooh. Because it's true, there's so much corruption right now going on within our own Inquisition that we don't even know who is our people, who is Solus's people, who are from the Qun. So I feel like it would be better if we disbanded, but still go after Solus to like convince him otherwise to do so, you know? And everyone is on our asses about it, how we need to end it and whatnot. So I feel like it would be best if we just do that. Give them what they want, but at the same time do what we want. Without them on our backs. We'll solve this ourselves.
You all know what this is? A writ. From Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval.
Nah, Cassandra.
It wasn't a formally authorized treaty that saved Ferelden's people. It wasn't careful diplomacy that ended your inane civil war. It was never about the organization. It was about people doing what was necessary. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a world to save. Again. Effective immediately, the Inquisition is disbanded.
Ooh, I wonder if I did the right thing, honestly. How are we all doing? I gave a new book, a new chapter. In short order, the Inquisition was disbanded. Some were relieved to see the unpredictable organization dismantled. Others preferred to remember the Inquisition's good works and the many lives it had saved. Those who had served returned to their former lives, knowing they had stopped a great evil from destroying the world. And hoping that the peace for which they had fought remained once the Inquisition was gone. With the dragon's breath disrupted and any hope of a swift victory dashed, the Qunari retreated back to the north. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvalan, but long after the accepted council, the Qunari launched new attacks against Tevinter. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mired in a war many feared could spread across Aphaetus. The Exalted Council remained intact, advising Divine Victoria on important matters. Cassandra served for several years. While she often disagreed with Leliana's policies, the former right and left hand of the Divine shared a mutual respect and worked well together. Cassandra also spent time in the Hunterform Mountains north of Orlais, where she worked to rebuild the Seekers. For a time, the new Seekers remained reclusive, showing no interest in worldly affairs and working to a purpose few outside their order could guess. The end of the Inquisition, as it had been, sent shockwaves through the College of Enchanters. Madame de Fer ably played on the mage's fears. Her followers united to build a new circle with Vivienne as its Grand Enchanter in direct competition with the college. What the circle lacked in numbers, they made up in political connections. Soon they were a force to be reckoned with. The two Inquisitions settled into an uneasy coexistence across the south, vying for power. After the Exalted Council, Leliana devoted herself fully to the Sunburst throne and her dream of reshaping the Chantry. Within a year, she removed restrictions surrounding Chantry priesthoods, allowing men and women of all races to be initiated and ordained. This decree was followed swiftly by her decision to return to the Canonical of Chartan, to the canonical chant, a move that divided Andrasians deeply. A rebellion to renounce her and return the chantry to its former state arose, beginning first in Orlais, then spreading to other parts of Phaedus. Ooh. People are not liking her. Divine Victoria was resolute, holding her grounds even after several unsuccessful attempts on her life. Seemingly unconcerned with the assassination attempt, she held up the hostility leveled against her as proof that she was on the right path. With the Inquisition disbanded, Sarah joined the Inquisitor in officially retiring from the scaring people in high places. My arm is made into a crossbow. By formal account and agreement, both would lead boring, safe lives, normal special doing nothing much at all. And with that comforting lie, those in power continued their fragile lives as though all was back to normal. Meanwhile, Regeni, an entirely separate person, not all collectively embodied by Sarah, the Inquisitor, and countless friends. Continue to make differences or just have fun where and when the impulse struck. With frequent visits to her widow, of course. To Dagna? No. Perhaps most unnerving was Sarah's standing offer to the divine. When the knobs piss about with your left hand or right, call on Regeni to give them 2 fingers. Ferric returned to Kirkwall, where, as Viscount, he resumed his work rebuilding the damaged city infrastructure. Oh, is that Aveline? Why is her hair short now? Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as the major trade hub of the Free Marches. He continued to ignore all mail from both the Merchants Guild and the Prince of Starkhaven. With the Inquisition disbanded, the Bull's charges returned to taking jobs throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Fighting demons and clearing out the remains of Venatori forces, the Iron Bull did his part to restore orders to Phaedus. After the Inquisition disbanded, Colin retired from active service. He returned to Ferelden, establishing a sanctuary for former Templars and on land Divine Victoria granted to him. With his help, many Templars shed their lyrium addiction, and those whose minds were too far gone spent their last days in comfort. And he promised that should his friends from the Old Inquisition ever need him, his blade would be ready. No. Dorian returned to Tevinter to take his father's place in the Magisterium. As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken of often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Along with Magister Meferestilani, he formed a group called the Lucerni to restore and redeem Tevinter, a fight many thought hopeless. Those fighting by Magister Paphos' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via a message crystal. Whether for vital information or for moral support, these talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. No. That's so cool though that such a thing exists. Tom Rainier was shown mercy when none was deserved and set on a path of redemption. This gift so compassionately given needed to be shared. Freed from his obligations to the Inquisition, Rainier traveled Thedas, giving hope to the condemned and the forgotten. In the deepest prisons and pits of Thedas, he found, if not goodness itself, its potential. By showing faith in those who had none, Rainier lifted them up and made them into something better than they were. With the Inquisition disbanded, Josephine made her farewells and returned to Antiva and her family. Thanks to the Inquisitor's help, the Monteliers were once again permitted to trade in Orlais. The next few years were a busy time, as many ships with the Montelier crest were built and set sail again from Antiva's harbors. Soon, Ravani pirate captains with an ancient feud against Josephine's ancestors took to the seas, determined to rekindle their rivalry. Oh god. Apart from Josephine's sister Yvette nearly eloping with a dashing pirate prince on one occasion, Lady Montelier took the development in stride. Of course, Yvette. Cole returned to the Fates, saying that there was more pain incoming, and that he knew where compassion would be most needed. No. He promised that his friends in the Inquisition would remember him, and that where the hurt was greatest, he would help. After the events at the Winter Palace, elves left the Inquisition under mysterious circumstances, as did elven servers across the Thedas. None could say where they went, but those who believed the Inquisitor's story about Fen'Harel wondered just how large the Dreadwolf forces were. And what the ancient elven rebel had planned. Lavellen sometimes came awake from dreams in which her lover watched her sadly from across an endless distance. If they were more than simple dreams, she could not say, for every time she reached for him, he vanished into nothing. Still, she searched and dreamed and waited for a way to change the Dreadwolf's heart. Ooh. Oh god. It's the end of thousands of Imperium. Novara, free marches.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
With the Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no formal alliances.
We have what we truly need.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself. If we can.
Ooh, we're going through to winter in the next game. Oh god. There we go. That was amazing, honestly. Holy shit. All, like, literally, almost every character development has been so well done, in my opinion. I loved Cole's entire story. I loved the fact that Iron Bull became from being under the Qun to being basically Talvajov. I love the fact that Dorian got an entire new perspective of outside of the Winter Imperium to see what the rest of Hades is like instead of what it is just like in the Winter. I love the fact that we managed to like change Leliana's personality a bit, because she was quite harsh in the beginning. Same with Cassandra. I feel like Cassandra is such an amazing person based on her character development. The amount, how much she has changed over the game from the beginning to the end. She's extremely open-minded and just very loyal in general. It's so nice. And the thing with Solus is that he's been saying it throughout the entirety of the game, how he's like, oh, I love the Fate. I know so much about like the ancient elves, you know, about the elven gods. I was just there like, he was saying to us literally that he was the Dreadwolf. And it's like, but you didn't realize it because it was so subtly done, you know? I loved Black Walls or Tom Rainier's story as well, because I just, like, what he did is not good, but I understand where he was coming from, if that makes sense. Curious to see if there's anything at the end here. The music as well in this game has been so good, from just the tavern songs to a lot of other, like, just the background sounds. Ooh.
A new book? All this shit is weird. Oh, that is a terrible title. What are you even thinking?
Is she gonna read his books?
The sky churned like a rolling sea on a dark and stormy night, centered on a gaping hole that led to the arse end of nowhere. A hole that spit up many things that day, comets, demons, and a whole lot of trouble. It's about the Inquisition. The din of the tavern cut the silence like it owed the carter money. In the middle, in her element, Red Jenny. She looked me up and down, mostly down. Not playing, weirdy, she said, gesturing with and dismissively eating a sandwich. Don't write that. Seriously, piss up a row. Sarah made the subtext text, which suited me fine. The court enchanter swirled into the room like a drop of beautiful poison spreading in a wineglass. She sized me up with a glance. I'm so glad you made it, my dear, she said. I am Madame de Fair, the most terrifying person you shall ever meet. Anne enfolded Alphonse in an embrace as warm as a serpent's kiss. I always knew I could count on your support. The Count did not feel the bite of her poisoned dart until it was too late. Even if it requires your death. Drops of rain glistened on the griffin medallion grasped tightly in Blackwall's hand. The silver-eyed wings of valor, they mean nothing. He flung the medal to the cold and uncaring ground. You don't know what I've done. You don't know me. So romantic. Cole moved like a shadow that also moved like a knife. A shadow wearing a hat where dreams came to die. It's a riddle, he whispered. A cold riddle that gnaws at your mind. Feel better when it's gone. That makes as much sense as anything Cole says. Do you place your herald above the law, ambassador? Whose law, my lady? Josephine's eyes glittered like angry opals. The law destroyed by rebellion, by civil war, by poor fiscal management. We are the law. We left our mark on adamant, but the dust hadn't settled, and neither had Harding. I can offer you a drink, if I catch your meaning. If you'd caught my meaning, you'd have offered a double. What is even happening here? The Iron Bull was a great slab of muscle with horns that could hang a tapestry. One eye scanned for threats, while the other hid behind an eye patch like a chantry's sister's old sins. Come on, he barked, not looking back as he entered. The dancer with the great rack comes on in 5. That is spot on, actually. The commander had the look of a Templar who had seen the worst of humanity, yet still had the time to style his hair. This isn't just a war, he said, his gaze steely like a dull blade. It's the only war. Cullen. That's Cullen.
Yes. You know, among all that, he did have time to do his hair. Constantly.
The mage wore a class of handsome sneer cultivated by 1,000 years of Tevinter elitism. The name's Dorian, he glared. D-O-R-I-A-N. Spell it right, you marble-headed lump, or it's toad time. A toad? That's hardly credible. The bold elf spun, mage staff crackling like the city after a good man's murder. You're crazy, the Red Templar cried in terror. Moonlight glinted off ears like the knives you never see coming. Better to fade out than burn away. Ugh, very. Wait, where am I? I don't... Oh, here it is. The Seeker clutched at my vest, her tears as desperate as they were pitiful. Varric, I was wrong about everything, she sobbed. Could you find it in your noble heart to forgive me? That dwarf, he put me in the book. I'm in the book. I am reading the shit out of this.
That's fucking amazing. To all of you who play Dragon Age Inquisition, who laughed, cried, and reached out on social media, who made fan art and comics and cosplay and jokes, thank you. Dragon Age Inquisition was a labor of love. Without you, it would never have been possible. Your support and your passion touched us deeply. We hope that, in some small way, this game touched you as well. Bear your blade. Oh god. There we go. Holy shit. So that's the end of Dragon Age Inquisition and the franchise, actually, for a bit. Even though there are, in summer, there should be a release date, however, for Dreadwolf. And I'm very curious to see when that will be. And of course, first thing, the moment that drops, I'm immediately recording the shit out of that one. I will drop anything else that comes up and I'll immediately record that without a doubt. But I'm very curious to see where it goes because, well, by the looks of it, it's going to be about the fact that Solas is trying to get rid of the veil. And the fact that apparently the elves that we have now, like the Dalish elves, the elves that live in the alienages, they're not the same kind of elves as they were back then. That's why Abelas also said that we aren't true elven. And so it was like he also like pointed it out that we aren't the same as we once were. And it's sad because, like, the thing is with Solas is that he's not really like a villain like you have with Corypheus or Loghain or whatever, where his plans were just pure evil. It was more of a thing where it's like, or even Loghain's plans wasn't evil. Mostly Corypheus's plans were, but it's just that he's trying to get back his home world, basically. His home, how it used to be for him back then. Because he said it himself when he woke up, it was like waking up in a world of tranquil. And I feel like that statement alone should say quite a lot of how it used to be. Because the world of tranquils to us is also like a very different place to how it is currently at in Thedas. But I'm also so very curious to see then how it was before the veil was made, how it was when there wasn't one, how they lived together with the Fate, how does it work with the what you call it, with the demons and the spirits, and how that all worked together. And it's also the fact that it came out that Solas is the one who created the veil, also heavily like it puts the Chantry in a weird position, because it just states that Solas basically is the maker to their religion, because he's the one who created the veil. Yeah, I fucking love this whole franchise so much. It was so good. I loved all games in their own like ways a lot. Every game had like good character development, I would say, and every game had its like own unique thing that makes them special. So I'm very curious to see what will happen in Dreadwolf. So I will leave this episode here, and we shall end the Dragon Age games for a bit until Dreadwolf is released. So I see you guys in the next one, where we will begin our new adventure within a different game. I'm not quite sure yet what, but we'll see, and we'll make a big journey out of it, have a lot of fun and whatnot. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.